Welcome back. In this session, let us learn Dash. We can build any kind of analytical dashboard by just using Python. We don't need to know in-depth knowledge of CSS or JavaScript to build interactive dashboards. Check this Dash app gallery where we can find lot of examples which have been built using Dash. There are financial dashboards, the real-time object detection dashboard, the epidemic dashboard, even the financial dashboards. Check this map-based application or this financial application which provides us a real-time stock information. We also have a real-time object detection dashboard like this one, which can be used for a self-driving car or even medical dashboards which can be built. To build these awesome dashboards, all we need is to understand about three pillars on which we build the Dash application: Dash components, Plotly graphs, callbacks. Let us look at each of these components. Dash components. These are visual user interactive components that are displayed on an app, like say date picker, drop downs, checkbox, sliders. For example, if we take any example from the Dash library, like this one, the year slider here is a Dash component. You can easily access these Dash components. The examples for these are available in the Dash documentation, which is provided in this URL. As you can see, there are multiple Dash components which can be used. It could be interval, link, location, drop downs. All these can be used to build an interactive dashboard. The second foremost pillar for a Dash application is Plotly graph. Plotly graphs are used to visualize the data. This map here is used creating the Plotly graph. The last and the final component is callbacks. These are used to connect the Dash core components with the graphs to build the interactivity. For example, here in this dashboard, if you change any of the year column, the map interacts with that and will be updated accordingly. If you want to pull a particular county's data, you can do that, and the histogram or the bar chart which is next to it would be updated. You can learn more on these basic callbacks on the Plotly Dash documentation here. This provides you details about how to make the basic callbacks and advanced callback functions. We will learn each of these components and learn how to connect everything using a simple dataset which would enable you to create any type of web application dashboard for a given data. Data for which we will build a dashboard is an avocado price dataset. This dataset contains data about avocado prices across US, and there are two different types of avocados, organic and conventional. It also has average price and the volume sold across various regions in US across time. So, let us jump into coding to build our first Dash application. You can use any text editor as I mentioned earlier, or I will be using PyCharm IDE for my coding. Import the Dash libraries and then we can work with the data. We will import Dash. We will import Dash core libraries which will bring in the core components. We will call it as DCC. We will import Dash HTML components as HTML. These are very basic HTML components which we would need to build our app. And also bring in the dependencies which would help us with our callbacks. We will import Plotly Express, import pandas to work with the data set which we have got. Now, let us initialize the app variable. We will say app equals dash and dash function. We will build the layout for our web application. It would be app.layout would look like. We will start with the HTML components. As said earlier, you can find different HTML components which are supported in the documentation here. You can see there are different kinds of HTML components like table, there is header, H1. We can use any of this to build our application. Let us say I will have HTML. Here I start with an HTML div, and HTML div element contains all other components which are there in the app as a list. Let us add a heading to our web application. I will say HTML dot H1. Give a name or a title for your application. Now let us write a small code snippet that would help Python interpreter to a place from where it can execute this program. I would say name, then app dot run server debug equals true. I have kept the debug mode as true, which would help us by giving any issues with our coding as we run the application. When we deploy the application in production, it is always advised to keep the debug mode as false. To run what you have built, you can click on run and execute this file. You can see the run tab that our code has been deployed into a inbuilt Flask server, and it is bind to our local default URL, which is 127.0.0.1, and the port is 8050. Let's click on this URL and see our first web app. The code is live now, and if you change anything on your file and save and reload the URL, the changes would be reflected. For example, I have made a mistake while giving the name. So let me change it, save it and reload this, and you can see the changes are reflected. The server can be stopped using the stop button here, or if you do any error in the program, then the code will exit the server by throwing an error. I'll stop the server. Now that we have our first app with just the title, let's look at how to add a graph to our application using Dash Core components. We will create a graph with our example dataset. Say, let us create a simple line graph on how the average prices change over time for both of the avocado types. First, let us read the dataset into the data frame. It's a CSV data. Now we know the data is across different regions. To create a simple graph, let us aggregate the data for the date and type. And sometimes the format of the date is not defined in the dataset. Hence, we will also format the date and sort the data. We will do it as df dot group by on date and type as index as false, and we aggregate where we get the average price, get the mean of it. Now in this data, let's format the date column. PD dot to date and time, and give the column name to be formatted. We will also sort the data and store it in the same data set, and we will sort it by date. Now let us create a graph using the Plotly Express. A line graph where my data set I will give, I will say the x axis would be the date field and my y axis would be the average price. We will also add in the color encoding which will be on the avocado type. So we have created a Plotly graph object. Let us see how we will add this in our app layout. To do that, we will use the core component, dash core component. We have graph function and pass figure value as the graph which we have created. So I have saved the file. Let us execute this file. As we reload our web application, we can see the line chart on our app. And we can see the avocado price change over the time, and there are two lines in the chart, each one representing the type of an avocado. This is a static graph with data aggregated across all regions. So how do we bring interactivity? How about adding a drop down for our user to select the regions, where user can select a particular region and then like to explore in more detail about that region. Let us add a drop down where user can select the region and we can look for syntax from the dash documentation. If I jump onto the dash documentation and see how to add a drop down, you can see multiple examples here providing us details about how to add a dash drop down. Let's add a region drop down in our code. Let's say DCC. I would like to add a drop down. We'll give an ID, options, which will be a list where label will be a variable and value is also a variable. which is got by executing a for loop on the data frame, where we will get all the unique geographies which are presented in the data. We will also set a default value using value parameter. We will take the first value as our default value. Let us save and execute this code. We will stop the server and execute this code, and we can see the drop down with all the regions listed. If I change anything in the drop down, my graph is not interacting with it. Any changes in the drop down is not reflected on the graph. Let us see how to connect these two components using callbacks. We will use callbacks to tie these components and bring in interactivity. Callback functions have output and input. We can send in the component ID and component property to these functions. Here, in our case, we would like to update the graph dynamically depending on the input value selected in the drop-down. So, our output will be the graph object and our input will be the drop-down value. So, let's write the callback function. At callback, we will say our output element, which is price graph, and the value for it, component property will be figure, and then we will have our input, which is nothing but the drop down. Now we define the function definition and put in our logic of filtering the dataset for graph depending on the input value selected in the drop down. We say definition update graph is our function name. It will take the value provided in the drop down and we will filter the data from which we have, where we'll say from the data set filter on which is the value provided in the drop down. Now let us create the line graph using the new data which we filtered data which we have formed. The x axis would be the date and y axis would be the average price, and color we will pass the type of avocado. We will save this into a figure variable and return figure. Let us save and execute this program and see how our dynamic graph works on the app. As you can see, the data for Atlanta is loaded here and the graph is interactive. As I change the different region, the graph of that region is updated below. So, with three components, dash core component, plotly graph and callback functions, we can build in interactive web dashboard. Now that we understand each of these dash components, let us update the layout and create a avocado dashboard with couple of graphs and styling. In our dashboard, let us bring in two graphs, one for price variation and other for volume sold. We will also bring in graph for top regions in terms of volume sold. If we are analyzing a single region, then let us replace the top region's graph with a relationship chart between price and the volume sold. Let us first make the format changes in the title. You can style your components in two ways, using the style argument of individual component or keep all the styling in an external CSS file and use the same in your Python file. So let us add a style attribute to our header. We can add in multiple style elements for any component, say text alignment, font size, the color of the element which we want. We can do that using the style. Not just styling the header, let's actually bring in a little bit more details in our title. So I will add in a HTML div component which can have multiple children. First I will add my title, which is HTML h1, where I have given the name as avocado dashboard and I have styled it with my choice, and add a paragraph where I talk about what is this data about. Here I am letting my readers know that avocado prices and the number of avocados sold in US is what this data is about. And we can even style our div component where I want the background to be a different color. I can put that style in the div component. The other change which I want to do is, in our drop down we had set a default value, but in this dashboard I don't want the default region to be set and I want it to be selected as per the user's choice. To do that, let's go into the drop down component and remove the value component. By doing this, the drop down will be shown without any default value. Now let us add the other chart elements into our layout. Since I have two charts next to each other, we can make use of HTML table element to achieve this. I have used the HTML table element. I have created a HTML row and two column data with two graphs, one for price and the other one for volume. Once I have that, I will also add the graph which will take in the top regions. Now let us update our callbacks for these charts. The first callback which we wrote, we can change that callback where the two charts are updated. So let's take two charts as our output, where first output element is price chart, the second output element is volume chart. The input is still the same, which is our drop down value. Now let us check for the drop down value. If the drop down value is not empty, that means user has selected a particular region, then let us filter the data for that region. If no region is selected, then aggregate the data across all regions. Here I am aggregating the date across all regions by just taking date and type. Let us create two figure components with two different graphs. First line graph representing the average price change over time, and second graph about total volume change over time. I have also given the color discrete sequence where I can define my required colors for the chart using this parameter. Let us create these graphs and return those graphs in the callback function. We will create a separate callback for the tops region graph. Here the output element would be the top region graph and input element would be the drop down value. We will update a bar graph in this place. Let us first check for the value selected by the user. If user has already selected a region, as mentioned earlier, let us create a scatter plot which will show the relationship between the average price and the total volume. So, first we will filter the data for the selection done by the user on the region and then create a scatter plot with that filter data where x axis I am taking average price and y axis I am taking total volume. If the region drop down has not been selected by the user, then we will aggregate the data and create a bar graph, and we will only show the top 10 rows of geographies in terms of volume of avocados sold. Let us return this figure element from this function. Save this file and execute the program. So, here we have our interactive dashboard built using Python Dash. As you can see, when the region is not selected, we have the top 10 regions in a bar graph listed here in terms of volume sold, and the aggregated value of average price change over time and total volume sold over time is reflected. If I select any of the region, then the graph would be updated, the price graph and the volume graph would be updated for that region, and we get a scatter plot which will tell us what is the relationship between the price and volume sold, which clearly shows as the price is low, we have huge volumes getting sold predominantly in a conventional avocado type, but an organic avocado type does not have much of these patterns. To summarize, we worked with 3 pillars to build the Plotly Dash application: Dash core components, Plotly graph, and connecting the two using the callbacks. With these 3 pillars, you would be able to create simple to most complex dashboard with just Python. As they say, practice make perfect. I encourage you to try different chart types and interactivity using dashboard documentation and sample dataset. Happy learning!